Mr. Range's 11th grade history classroom and Mrs. Bass's 1st grade elementary classroom at Oak Valley. And both of these schools are in Tulare, and they're on totally different opposite sides of the town, but they all have the same agricultural-based community. So students of farmers and dairymen are attending these schools, and it was great because I was able to see transitional kindergarten through 8th grade at Oak Valley and get the high school experience as an educator at Tulare Union. Both of these teachers, they had colorful rooms, they had school spirit, and it was great to see how Mr. Range had a library that was accessible to his students, and they were able to go there and grab things that they needed. And Mrs. Bass, she was a veteran teacher, and I got through her perspective about being under multiple different kinds of administrations and being able to see her pivot and alternate her curriculum to give her students the best education possible. In the classroom, after reading our textbook and connecting teachers, students, and standards by Volt, Sims, and Nelson, I was wondering if how local teachers engage with their students and how they met the needs of being consistent, clear, and approachable and respectable. So even during our class Intro to Teaching, there was always this discussion about classroom management and holding students accountable. So this notion that I mentioned earlier, how do we do it? And this stayed on my mind all throughout observing, and I just was very curious how I would get my answer. My most memorable example of this comes from Mr. Range. He always engaged with his students the whole entire 80 minutes of class time, and it was awesome because he did what students needed. They needed someone to hear them out, hear their jokes, and someone to identify with them even during class. So it was always clever sayings such as "eeny, meeny, miny, mo," "I say that you get to go," or always holding students accountable with their respect by having them phrase their sentences with "may I go to the restroom" or "may I join my band members 10 minutes early for the rally." Assessment of reading and monthly benchmarks are examples from both schools that help place students based on their academic needs. Tulare Union and Oak Valley, they share words of wisdom and health tips and protection against the outside world, but students are gradually being integrated into society there. Celebrated, both schools did an excellent job by accommodating a blind student and a hard of hearing student by turning his desk and providing an interpreter at all times for the blind student. Education is an education that incorporates norms, values, and histories of multiple cultures and incorporates it in a classroom. An example I have is from Mrs. Bass, where she has a journal assignment and students add to it, and it's awesome because you can see what they go through in their daily lives. But my experience as a student observer at both campuses, I believe it was easy for myself to get the feel of family and respect on both campuses. These schools are catering to their students' needs, and they celebrate diversity in the classroom. And even the textbook, seeing it in practice, it was evident that these teachers really knew what they were doing and why. The most surprising thing for me, though, is when observing, I would see how teachers are these expert problem solvers. They love their students enough to never make them feel less for making a mistake. They always want to be that person in their lives to help push them move forward. From observations to attending this course, I learned teaching is much more than planning a lesson. Teachers are advocates and allies in the future generation of students. They know when to celebrate diversity and praise a student for a good job. And this experience, it let me envision myself as a future educator and how I saw my pedagogy changing throughout the week. So I'm super eager to continue my journey as becoming this lifelong learner and advocate for the future generation of leaders. Thank you.